What is going on, you guys? Zach here from PremiumBeat.com. Today is a good day. I'm not just saying that, I'm demanding it. Today is a good day because I'm gonna be talking about how to improve your footage. I'm playing around with this elastic band a lot. It's just like one of those distraction things. It's not actually how I'm gonna be doing tutorials. It's not like, so you have your camera and then you put it into the, and then so basically what I'm gonna do is take this shot here and make it look way more cinematic through a couple quick, simple tricks. So stick with me and let's go do it. Okay, so the first thing is, if you look at this shot, it's very basic, bland, there's no depth, no nothing. So the first thing that we're gonna do is actually change our angle. So if you see the sun is kind of bursting in from the front here, everything looks really flat. We're utilizing the sun as a primary light to light the subject. What I'm gonna do is actually change my perspective. So rotate around the mug and go at it from a different angle. The reason why I want to do this is actually nowadays with cinematography, and this is actually just a preference thing, but I actually like shooting against the sun as opposed to with the sun when it comes to adding a bit of mood or atmosphere. It adds a little bit more depth to your shots and gives it a bit more contrast when you put it into your footage. What I'm going to do is actually take my camera, and instead of having it up here like looking straight down on the subject, I'm going to lower it right down to be in the same perspective or same angle as it. Basically shooting it like eye to eye. Now, usually when I shoot stuff, I actually don't shoot it like this. I shoot it right in the core center of my body. But even to change the perspective up a little bit more, I shoot it a little bit lower. So just below my chest, I have it right there, kind of in like the stomach zone. Basically, why you want to do that is it just gives it a little bit more of an artistic flair, changing the usual perspective from what we normally see. Like POV is usually pretty cool, and that's really good for portraiture, but what I really like to do for anything like landscape shots, architecture, or even just like people walking or whatever, is having the camera a little bit lower. It gives it a new perspective, makes it feel a little bit more artsy, and just changes it up a bit. With the sun blasting in the back, the angle's a little bit more lower. The next thing that we're gonna do is actually take our lens, and if you can do this, zoom it right in. So now the reason why you wanna do that is that's gonna give your shot more depth. So if you already see, we have more depth with our subject. Now, it makes it a little bit closer, so if you can, take a step back. If you have some room, step back to try and get yourself the medium or wide that you were trying to achieve. You don't have to zoom it into its furthest settings. You can zoom it into like, let's say 70 mil, or if you can't, maybe 50, but basically just have a bit of depth between you and your subject matter. Basically what you wanna do is, right now my f-stop is at like f11. What I'm gonna do is actually change my aperture and move it up to 4.0. Yeah, 4.0. That's like, sounds like some sort of sci-fi movie, like f-stop 4.0. So basically what you want to do is now crank up your aperture to its highest setting that you can, and then get your subject into focus. So now I've got a little bit more depth, I've got some bokeh in the background, and I've got that sun blasting through there. I see that sun blasting in the back and I want to get that in the shot. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move my subject and mug a little bit over into the rays of sun, and then move my camera over so I'm getting those lens flares into the camera lens, so I get this. Whoa, that's so cool, right? Basically, now you've got the sun blasting, some bokeh in the back, and some depth away from your subject. But I'm not done there, because I'm gonna take you even to the next level on how to make this a little bit better. So once you have all that fun stuff going, the next thing you want to do is add a little movement. Now, since the camera is a little bit lower in your body, it's a lot easier to do some shifting movement, hence why I have it down here. If your camera's up here, it's a little harder to do movement, it looks a little bit more wobbly, but if you have it down in the core center of your body and you do that like hip sway, or what I like to do is like sway my hips and then slowly rotate my hands around like that, adding a bit of a parallax effect, this is what we're gonna get in our footage. And just to cap this all off, now this isn't 100% necessary either, but I'm gonna throw it into 60 frames per second, so a little bit slower motion, and then do the movement faster so it has like a nice smooth vibe as opposed to a little gritty. And so basically you can do that sort of trick for all angles. If you punch into a little bit of the mug here, we do a bit of like a swoop over, and now I can cut together and have like a bit of a sequence now, where it's like we start off wide, then we cut over top, have that swooping shot. So just because you're limited to possibly location or resources doesn't mean your shots have to be boring. By utilizing these techniques, you can really take basically all your coverage and make it seem way more interesting. If you're shooting B-roll for an event or TV show or your vlog, try and like change up the angle. Bring your camera down, zoom that lens in, change your f-stop and change your focus, and you're gonna get a much better shot. And play around with sun flares. They're like the #1 way to make everything just look a little bit more epic. And that is it, folks. I had nothing to do with that elastic band. I couldn't figure out anything to do with it for my camera. I'm Zach here from PremiumBeat. If you guys want to take a look at more tutorials, take a look at the rest of the PremiumBeat YouTube page with some really, really awesome content there. Love those guys, love you guys. Let's keep this whole thing going. Give us a subscribe, like this video. If you have a comment, question, or concern, I'd love to read it in that comment section below. But I'm gonna go shoot some cool B-roll because the sun is setting and it looks pretty awesome. I'll see you guys in another video.